with your smile so warm, and your cheek so strong. There is nothing for me but to never let you change. Keep that breathless charm. Night. Night. God,
Is there anything better than the perfect sports movie? Every time you watch Rudy run onto the field or Jimmy Chitwood take that final shot, you know you feel something, and it's nearly impossible to replicate. I'm Bruce Murray, host of The Replay, Sports on the Big Screen. And on my new podcast, we're taking a deep look at your favorite sports movies and the real stories behind them. Tap now to listen to The Replay, Sports on the Big Screen, right here on Pandora.
I kissed her, she kissed me, like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? She hung back, like the sailor said, oh, ain't that a hole? Oh, my hand keeps spinning, I can sleep again. It's just like the fella said, now
Okay, hi everybody. This is Most Things Hypnosis. I am your host, ILAH, and we're live at 5, September 8th, 2022. Today's show, I'm going to talk a little bit about something called EMFs, electromagnetic fields. But first, I am going to talk about my but first syndrome, but first segment called Bill, this but first segment, it's based on what I call the but first syndrome. So you're doing a project or you've got projects to do. But first, let's take care of this one. And then let's take care of that one first. But we'll get to that one, but first this one. So that's kind of where the but first segment is. Before I get started, I'm going to just, I usually do a little ditty of humor or thought provoke. Today is to live in the moment. You must have the courage to stop preparing for tragedies that will never happen. Care of Dan Gordon and Dan Gordon Enterprise, one of the best business coaches you'll ever encounter. Also, I found this, I thought it was cute. If I knew me before my 20s, you never actually knew me. You knew season 1 of me. We were severely underfunded and the writing team was going through a lot. Here's well, I don't want to give that one away. Yeah, it's a concept that I've had about love forever and ever, and I'll get to that later. So one of the, I had gotten a mosquito bite. Aren't the mosquitoes kind of terrible? Or there's something biting. I don't know if it's a mosquito, but there's something that was biting me, and it got a hold of my foot on the right on the inside here, on the foot and on the inside. And of course, one day I'm scratching it, and I have these flip-flops that have rhinestones, real blingy. And I guess I was itching it so hard, the rhinestones was scratching on it, and then the whole thing got infected. So my recommendation for mosquito bites or anything that itches, put a little Ambisol on it. It numbs your gums. Why not numb that at least till the itch goes away? Here's something to keep in mind. It's kind of like about social media. I found this on somebody else's Instagram and I thought it was apropos. Do not advertise your happy marriage on social media. Do not advertise pregnancy on social media. Do not advertise your kids' achievements on social media. Don't advertise your expensive buys on social media. Now, some of these I don't agree with. Understand this about life. Not everyone is going to be happy for you. So why do that? 2, most of the nice comments you get are just fake, and it's probably true. How many of you done that? You just attracted, you are just attracting the evil eye on you and your family. Oh, if you're posting stuff to brag about yourself, maybe, I don't know. Maybe jealous people are being attracted to you in your life and you don't want them to be. You don't know who's saving your pictures and checking out your updates. There's that. You really need to stop this because it may ruin your family, marriage, life, career. Now, I know that recent years, when you go for a job, they do check out your social media to see what you're all about. Be careful. I know people who have said they make X number of dollars, and when they went to child support court, that's what they based it on because they didn't have any other record. Social media is it can be a very good thing, be a very bad thing. I actually was reading an article that was being interviewed. They were interviewing Zuckerman, and he said it's better. He wants people more engaging as opposed to scrolling. And how many of us on social media, we just scroll and scroll and scroll, and we don't interact and we don't engage in a conversation. We don't engage in a whatever. So, I mean, I try to do my best to do both. I engage a little here and a little there. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's see, I'm going to share my screen here first, and then I'm going to share it someplace else later. All right, I've got my little phone app, so if anybody texts me a question, it won't chime out, but it'll be okay. So here we are. EMFs. What is it? Well, first of all, we do need more research and more information. That's for sure. But they've been around for like ever, I think. Well, since they have been, at least the last 100 years, maybe longer. Okay, let me go to the big picture here. Come on, there we go. Okay, it stands for electromagnetic field. What is what? What does that do? EMF, or electromagnetic fields, influence metabolic processes in the human body and exert various biological effects on cells through a range of mechanisms. EMF disrupts the chemical structures of tissue since a high degree of electromagnetic energy absorption can change the electricity current in the body. I got this directly off of Google, and I just put what do EMFs do? And this, I just copied and pasted it. I'm sorry I didn't give the person credit. I meant to go back and then I lost the page. But basically, it's disrupting us. So what does it mean? It means that EFX are affecting your health. It's pure and simple. It's affecting our health. Sleep, big one. That's where I kind of wanted to take this. Sleep. There are no guarantees, but here's the thought. If you were to eliminate all of your EMF devices while you slept, wonder what would happen. You'd probably sleep pretty good. And I'm going to get into all the details here in a minute. The bedroom is really, it has two functions, sex and sleep, and not necessarily in that order. It can be in any order, back and forth. But now the bedroom, as of recent years, maybe the last 15, 20, there's TVs, iPads, tablets, cell phones, and many other devices that emit these EFTs. With that, you are disrupting your sleep. Sorry, I have to drink my club soda here. Bubbly mango, good stuff. Okay, get into the nitty gritty here in a minute. The towers and antennas out there in the world ping. And when they ping, and if you're anywhere around them, and there are a lot of them, those pings go right through you. That's what disrupts. And I have a feeling, and I've heard this said, that middle of the night, there's a lot of energy charged pinging going on purposely to disrupt us so that we are tired. It's easier to brainwash somebody tired. I know I'm getting a little conspiracy theory going, but think about it. It almost makes sense. So how do we protect ourselves? Now that we know what it is, what it does, how do we protect yourself? Turn off your EMFs, turn off your Wi-Fi, turn off, move your cell phone at least 6 feet away. Remove your TV, tablets, iPads, all those devices from your sleeping area. There's this thing we had when I was growing up. It's about so big. It's called an alarm clock. They're still available. You can buy one at the store. And just put that there, but some people have to have a phone to listen to in case, their Uncle Johnny or Aunt Edna calls in the middle of the night because they have an emergency, and I totally get it. Just move your phone as far away from you as you possibly can. Still hear it, and then at least it's not near you. Back in the old days, we had one phone in the kitchen, and I think there was one in the living room. So when they rang, you had to get up and go run to the phone. We didn't even have answering machines. You would just get up, and if you weren't home, you weren't home. And if you didn't answer, you didn't answer. So electromagnetic spectrum, here's a couple of pictures. And yeah, see these all of this is emitting these electromagnetic forces. This is an actual electromagnetic type meter. You can get them on Amazon. They're not hugely expensive. And some of them are very expensive, but find one that works for you, and you can find out your electromagnetic field within your own home. But you're looking here at this frequency waves per second. I don't understand a lot of this, but there's a therapeutic radiation of 500 to 5,000 EHz. Diagnostic radiation. Then there's non-ionizing radiation. These emit radiation, and the cell phone companies have said it does. So, but studying this out, and I've just done a little bit, and I like the picture here because it kind of really gave a visible example of the different waves that emit through us. So what do? You got to block it. Use copper, this little copper cube you can get. Oh, I forgot to take this picture off. Oh, you can get a grounding mat. Now, the thing with grounding, see the plug right here? It's got the 3-prong, it's got the 2 on the top and the 1 at the bottom. Well, when you plug it in, these 2 don't do anything. They're not conducting any kind of electricity. I learned all this yesterday. This one actually grounds that so that there's no EMF, and it's kind of putting a bubble of protection around you. You also have grounding mats right here. These are grounding mats. This is a grounding mat you can put like under your desk if you want it at work, a copper bracelet, but things that are going to, like when the ping comes, it distracts, diverts in another direction. So learning how to ground you. You can take, I was learning this last night, you can take copper tape and just make a grid on your actual mattress, going one way, going the other, and then put all your bedding back on top of it. And then you sleep on your bedding. Of course, it's on top and it can ground you. Smart boxes, I think are called. Anyway, I'm going to have an interview with a friend who really knows about all this just in a beautiful way. And we'll get some Q&A going, but I really wanted to address it because it's come up a couple times this week. I thought, well, that must be what I'm supposed to talk about. So ground yourself, put yourself in the dirt. That's grounding too, but you can't sleep there typically. Well, some do, I guess. Sleep in EMFs. You got to be careful. If you want sleep, if you want the sleep, you got to stop EMFs. Okay, so now I'm going to share something else that I thought was very profound that I learned about a couple days ago. Okay, this is antennasearch.com. Now, this is my address of my office, 1612 West Mineral King, here in Visalia. There are 8 towers and 267 antennas within a 3-mile radius of this address where I'm at right now. And I did it from my house, and there was a few more towers, a few less antennas, but okay. So now we're going to go to Billings, Montana. I just picked a random address in Billings, Montana at this particular address, Rolling Hills Drive. I think it was a national park of some sort. They had 21 towers and 83 antennas, so it's better than what I got here at my office. But let's go to Sunset Boulevard at the Beverly Hills Hotel. The Beverly Hills Hotel has 390 towers, 1,878 antennas within a 3-mile radius. Antenna search will give you a 3-mile radius search, and then it tells you what they all are, where they all came from. Right here, all 20 of these on this one, where the carrier is and how far away they are from this address. Now, this is New York at the Twin Towers, the address of the Twin Towers. They have 879 towers and 10,258 antennas within a 3-mile radius. Look at this picture here. It's ginormous, right? The towers are in blue and the antennas are in red, and it's only 20 of them. Look at this. And this is this isn't even 2 miles. It's within a 3-mile radius, but if you're looking at the miles here, nothing here is 2 miles. Everything is less than 1.5 miles, and there's over 10,258 antennas. So you can put in to find out what it is and how do you do it? What happens after you're able to figure this out? And now that you know all about that, you can use all kinds of tools. I have a list that I was listening to. You can ground yourself. You can use EMF fabric, the copper. At night, put your phone on airplane mode if you can. If you can put it on airplane mode, put it on airplane mode. Sorry, it's getting hot here. The heat, we'll talk about in a minute. Copper in the mattress, a Stetzer meter and filters. I don't know. Some of the stuff is just all, but the 5G, the EMFs, you want something that's going to guard and cover and block it while you sleep, and it's going to change your sleeping. I've heard people say in one day they've made these changes, and then suddenly it's fine. Everything it's fantastic. They're sleeping or whatever. So there is a book that I started reading about EMFs this week, and I'm just going to read a little excerpt out of it, and I'll show you the book, and I've already listed it in the comments. Thank you, Robert. Cell phones, televisions, desktops, laptops, iPads, Kindles, tablets, and more. Many people have turned their bedrooms into miniature Best Buy locations. But what are the health risks associated with it? And what in the world are they doing to your sleep or to our sleep? A study sponsored by mobile companies themselves found that talking on cell phones before bed cause people to take longer to reach a critical deep stage of sleep, and they spent less time in that deep sleep. You need deep sleep to regenerate the brain. That REM sleep is so important for your brain function. This translates to the diminished ability for the body to heal, depressed immune functions, depressed hormone functions, poor performance the following day. Researchers at Loughborough University Sleep Research Center in Leicestershire, England, I can't say the word, but you get it. This is on page 93 of the book, and I'll show you the book in a minute. They set out to test the impact of cell phone radiation on human brains. In the study, they strapped cell phones to the heads of study participants and monitored their brain waves by EEG, which they put little probes all over your brain, and then they put it on a map and they can check it out. So while the phones were switched on and then off by remote computer, the experiment revealed that after the phone was switched to talk mode, as if there was a call, the brainwave patterns called delta waves remained depressed for more than an hour after the phone was turned off. These delta brainwaves are the most reliable marker of deep sleep. That's the sleep wave you want your brain to go into. A significant portion of your sleep consists of this stage. The interference with it will have a noticeable effect on sleep efficiency, which is exactly what the researchers observed. When the test subjects were allowed to go to sleep, they ended up remaining awake twice as long after the phone was shut off. They could not fall into a deeper level of sleep for nearly an hour after the cell phone radiation stopped playing hide and go seek with their brainwaves. This is not a futile plea to break out the tinfoil hats and hide from technology, although I've known someone's who've done that. As we know, our development and use of technology is ever expanding and a valuable part of our lives. However, it's a great idea to be aware of these potential issues and utilize smart strategies to protect ourselves. The most alarming part right now is that at least 50% of Americans sleep with their cell phones right by their sides. Guilty, and I have two. Many people will admit to checking their message alerts in the middle of the night. I definitely have stopped doing that. Sometimes I'll hear it, and I think it's my daughter who lives very far away, and she has just having a grandbaby. So that's about the only one I'll check if I'm already in the middle of sleep. And I've also set mine so when I turn them upside down, the only thing that's on is the ringer, so I don't hear the chimes. And I could turn the chimes off. Many more will admit that the first thing they do in the morning is reach for their cell phones when they wake up. Our attention is enormously valuable to us and to the world. And how you begin and end your day has a huge impact on the results of your life. Starting the day, checking emails, messages on your phone immediately puts other people's priorities ahead of yours. You start the day addressing other people's needs instead of taking time to take care of yourself physically and getting focused on your own goals for the day. You are, in essence, saying, I know I have things that I want to accomplish, but I would much rather try to take care of them last when I'm stressed out of time, out of energy. Ending your day without the cell phone. So maybe at 2 hours before you retire, and you should have a regular bedtime. 2 hours before bedtime, before you go to retire, you should get away from your phone. Doesn't mean turn it off yet or anything like that. Maybe turn off your Wi-Fi. Maybe just put your phone on airplane mode, get an alarm clock. The book I was reading from is called Sleep Smarter. So I mentioned to my daughter a while back, she's like, so have you been sleeping dumb? It's like, maybe. Sleep Smarter. It's by Sean Stevenson. It's a great book. And I was reading in chapter 12 just now about EMFs and sleep and the devices we use. This is a very good book. It was recommended to me a while back. I don't remember the copyright on it, but all the while, this is a decent book to get some really good information. Okay, it's 2016 was the copyright. So it's not that old. So this guy absolutely knows what he's talking about when it comes to this kind of thing. So Sleep Smarter. In this book, he gives a 14-day sleep makeover. So you can go through and actually do the little exercise he has here, and it's just an everyday little journal thing you do. I took his 14-day and I use it. I kind of modify, I ILAH everything. And then, but I kept his concept. And then I just took, and I've got it in a PDF form now, but it's having a set bedtime and a set wake up time, and then sticking to it. Even if you're tired, stick to it, because your body's going to adjust. Anyway, that's my story. And I know it's a very short thing. Next week, I posed a question to some colleagues this week about humor and hypnosis. Next week's show is going to be about humor and hypnosis. So thank you, Bruce Bonnet, for the information. I'm going to go with it. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. And I'll catch you next week. Ciao.